Before we get into today's video, I just want people to know that I am not jumping off my pick when it comes to the Lakers. I'm solely reacting to what we saw last night and what I took away from the game. That is it. I'm not switching up, I'm not changing teams or anything like that. I am just reacting to what we saw last night. Having said all that, the Lakers came out ugly in that game against the Spurs. They came out ugly offensively. They weren't really hitting shots. Neither team was really hitting shots at the beginning. It seemed like neither of them could get a bucket until finally the Spurs kind of found a way and they, finally were able to score. But the Lakers came out so ugly offensively and especially defensively, and that carried on the entire game. The Lakers were so ugly defensively, it was ridiculous. They act like they had never seen a pick and roll in their entire lives. Like, these are professional athletes who saw a pick and roll and couldn't do anything about it. They literally were just letting whatever happened happen. They had open men anytime they wanted to for the Spurs, which is what contributed to the Spurs having such a great shooting night. They were like 11 for 18 or 19 in the first half because they were getting so many open looks. People were left wide open. I just don't understand how you guys are acting like you've never seen a pick and roll situation in your life. Like I said, they came out cold offensively. I feel like they were like way too much on LeBron. And I know your superstars have to do superstar-like things, but when you're this reliant on a 36-year-old LeBron James, I feel like there's some issues with that. Somebody has to step up offensively to take off that load for LeBron because he was doing everything throughout the game. He was hitting his threes. He was shooting well from the free throw line up until the third quarter, and he was hitting his mid-range shots. He was getting into the paint. LeBron was doing exactly what he needed to do, and he was getting his teammates involved. I think he finished with like 12 assists or something like that, so he was absolutely sensational. But man, they came out cold offensively, and if it wasn't for LeBron, they probably would have been down a lot more than they had been. Dennis Schroeder could not find to get a bucket at any rate. He would get to the rim and he would blow a layup, and it's kind of frustrating to watch. He was getting left wide open for threes and he's missing. And I know that you're gonna have off nights, but it's like, bruh, you are a professional athlete. Like, you get paid millions of dollars and you just can't hit a three while you're wide open. Like, not even contested, they're letting you shoot and you're missing. It's so frustrating to watch. I want to talk about Anthony Davis. Now, I'm not going to crush Anthony Davis. I'm not going to punish him or, slander his name of any sorts like that. But I do want, like I said, I do want to talk about what I saw last night. And for whatever reason, Anthony Davis was extremely passive. It wasn't until I saw the score that I saw he had 23, but it didn't even feel like it because he was just so passive throughout the entire game. I get it. It's a short off season, so they're going to coast for the first bit of games. I understand that. But when you're 27, it's one thing if LeBron wants to coast because he's a 36-year-old vet. He has proven his track record that he can get it into gear in the playoffs. But when you're 27 and in your prime, I know you want to coast, but come on, man. You got to do better than that, and you got to be a little bit more aggressive than he was. He wasn't bad offensively, so I'm not going to slander him too much, but defensively, it seems like Anthony Davis has not been the same as last year. Last year, when I believed he was the defensive player of the year, I believe Giannis shouldn't have been the defensive player of the year, and it should have went to Anthony Davis. But this season, he's not playing anywhere near that. Anyone who's guarding him almost seems to be getting whatever they want. He had LaMarcus Aldridge scoring on him. DeJounte Murray was scoring on him. Lonnie Walker was scoring on him. It didn't matter who was in front of Anthony Davis. It seemed like they were getting whatever they want at any point. And I just don't understand because it's I know Anthony Davis is a fantastic defensive player. So him getting all these shots rained on him, it's kind of frustrating to watch because it's what is going on? And I'm going to give major props to the Spurs, coached by Greg Popovich, who's doing a fantastic job. I believe he's the greatest coach of all time, and they have been doing great. They got a win against the Clippers and now the Lakers, so I'm going to give them their credit. But still, it's dude, you're really going to let these guys just rain threes on you and you can't stop anything? They had so many defensive breakdowns, it was ridiculous. It was he was thoroughly outcoached. I gotta say it, Frank Vogel got outcoached. There were so many defensive breakdowns. They were getting practically anything they wanted offensively. And that same story for the Lakers is applicable to the Clippers because they were getting whatever they wanted. I want to talk about Marc Gasol, who wasn't really that great, but that's because he was in foul trouble the entire time. And he's always in foul trouble. I feel like that's a common theme when it comes to Marc Gasol at this point. Now, I stand by the statement that I believe Marc Gasol is a Rajon Rondo type player who's going to become more effective in the playoffs than he is in the regular season. But they need him in the regular season still because he's their starting center, and he has not been playing well. It doesn't matter who he's guarding, he has slow feet, so they're getting past him, and he's always in foul trouble. They're just going at him, and he's always gonna have to sit on the bench. And then when Montrezl comes in, which I love, he's a great addition, but he is a defensive liability. So when Anthony Davis is getting cooked as well, so is Montrezl, which forces them to double, which opens up another man. And I think you're seeing the pattern. It's just so frustrating to watch this team have so many defensive breakdowns because it starts with their interior defense with Marc Gasol, who's always in foul trouble. And I think people forget Marc Gasol wanted more money, so the Lakers had to trade away JaVale McGee. That's something that I think a lot of people don't remember. Like, they could have had JaVale McGee and Marc Gasol, but he wasn't going to settle for the veterans minimum. So they had to trade him away to clear up more cap space to sign Marc Gasol. So at the very least, Marc Gasol owes the Lakers better than this. He has to find a way to become more effective and find a way to be more ingrained in the lineup and not find himself on the bench because he's falling away all the time. At this point, I do believe the Lakers do need another big. I don't know what other bigs they could get. I think Dwayne Dedmon's out there, maybe Hassan Whiteside. I'm not too high on Hassan Whiteside, but hey, they do need something at this point. They do need another backup big man that can help out when it comes to Marc Gasol because he's always in foul trouble. If you listen this far, please comment down below if you think there's a big man that the Lakers could go ahead and grab in the buyout period before the trade deadline expires. Wesley Matthews was also not that great. He missed a crucial three from the corner that could have really closed the gap when it comes to the Spurs game, and he was wide open, which is what I'm talking about. Like, Wesley Matthews and Dennis Schroeder, it's like you guys are 3-and-D guys. Like, you make a living off of this, making millions of dollars. You can't be missing wide open shots like that. It's one thing to miss threes, but it's another thing to be wide open and they're letting you shoot and you're missing. That's so disrespectful. I'm going to chalk this up to, it's a short off season and it's the Lakers. LeBron's going to take time to really find out the rosters and find out what they're doing. But the Lakers really don't have a quality win yet. I'm still waiting to see that quality win out of them and to see what they're going to do when they play a really solid team. Like, if they were to go against the Nets, I would be terrified, honestly, if I'm the Lakers. Then Brooklyn Nets, say whatever you want about them. They are great at getting into the paint. They can score in the paint all the time because they have Jared Allen and they have other guys that can drive into the paint and finish. So when you have someone like Marc Gasol and the Lakers who struggle with interior defense, that's going to pose an issue for them. So at the end of the day, I do believe that the Lakers do have some problems and that maybe they should go out and try to find another big man. But hopefully this is just the swing of things and they're going to get into gear. But man, I really hope that does happen because I would hate for anything but the Lakers to win a championship this year because they have talent. They're too talented not to. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much. If you listen this far, please drop a like on this video and please subscribe if you haven't already. And please check out my other videos. I make basketball content, so if you enjoy basketball, you would love this channel. But without further ado, guys, I am out. Peace.